Hello and welcome to the morning show teeing off with RevSportz. Very good morning to all of you present. And this is me, Rohan Chaudhary, and with me, Bharat Ramaraj and Shubhan Chakraborty. Welcome, Shubhan. Welcome, Bharat. Yes,
Morning.
we had a great game yesterday, RCB KKR. Today also we have a great one, CSK Rajasthan. But something else is also going on in Indian sports right now. The Wrestling Federation saga that is going on. Friday, it will be the hearing at Supreme Court. Shubhan, you were there at Jantar Mantar during the first protest they had during January. It was intense situation, and it again brought back the wrestlers decided to continue with the protest, and we saw some visuals in the morning. Swapnil, please play that one, and we'll take it from there.
लगातार प्रदर्शन जारी है और आज पांचवा दिन है। ऐसे में बैरिकेड्स लगातार लगे हुए हैं और आज देखना होगा कि आज इस पूरे प्रोटेस्ट में कौन कौन आगे जुट सकता है, क्योंकि तेलंगाना के साथ आज जो लोग सामने आ रहे हैं उसके राज्य में साथ ही साथ जो और सारे
इस शोल्डर ये अपने यहाँ से यहाँ स्टेबल मतलब साइंस में होता है कि ये सबसे ज़्यादा स्टेबल है। अब आगे पीछे पाना कर दें थोड़ा सा बस ये देख कि वहाँ ये घुमा इसकी ये तो ये थोड़ा तो पीछे ये सब देखो स्टेबल। अब अटैक कर दूँ अटैक करेगा सबसे ज़्यादा अटैक आपकी।
Shubhan, these are some strong visuals, I would say. These are the champions of the country, world champions, Olympic champions, training ahead of the Asian Games, Paris Olympics on the streets of Jantar Mantar. Your thoughts? You have been there during the protest. You have seen the intensity. Your thoughts? Is this going right, Shubhan?
Of course, not the best visuals to see. The Olympic medals, the Asian Games winners, Commonwealth winners. So many Arjuna awardees there. Those who are training on the streets, it's not great visuals. And what Sakshi Malik said in our interview, it was not good to listen, like police leaking the names of the minors who were there to file an FIR and all. So not easy to hear such things in India, especially when it's happening. Not only when it's happening to the champions, but to any common people in the country as well. So something which need to be chalked out. But today there's an EC meeting, and
Hmm.
they will be forming an ad hoc committee to take care of the affairs of the Wrestling Federation of India. So that will be a crucial development as well. Till the time the
Hmm.
election is there, it completes and the new chairman is appointed. So that's going to be an important step. But what Abhinav Bindra wrote in a tweet yesterday is very important. To take care of the welfare of the athletes, it's very important. Especially when this is the Asian Games here, you will be there in China, and are followed by the Paris Olympics, and these are the crucial months. One missed training session, and you fall behind by a couple of weeks. It's a cutthroat business, and hopefully we'll see a resolution very soon.
Exactly. Bharat, on the same note, these are the elite athletes of the country. If this is going for them. So the general mass, general athlete, the general people also, not athletes, how would these affect? And the players also going forward, if the Asian Games is there, they are not getting to prepare physically and mentally. So how do you see this situation? And how is this situation going to affect them going forward in the tournament?
Yeah, obviously, mentally it would affect all these players. So it is imperative that some solutions or something comes out of this, and so that the players can concentrate only on the training, can only concentrate on uh, the practice, so that that would help them get medals. Because finally, it is about taking care of athletes. So you have to look after the welfare of athletes. Administrators don't come first.
Hmm.
Their only job is to look after the welfare of athletes. So that is why they have to solve or they have to find a solution for this and ensure that the athletes only think about training, only think about practice, only think about winning medals, nothing else.
Exactly. And uh, Shubha, you have been there in Jantar Mantar, and something happening like this to the elite athletes. So, and Sakshi, I remember Sakshi Malik saying in our conclave that uh, हमारे साथ जो हो गया तो अगले अगले जो आने वाले हैं उनके साथ ना हो इसीलिए तो ये फाइट है एंड वी होप दैट tomorrow's Supreme Court hearing has something positive resolving this situation. We are not taking any sides, resolving the situation. That is what we want. Well, moving forward to the IPL game yesterday, RCB KKR. We have Bharat Ramaraj from Bangalore and Shubhan from Kolkata, but not taking any sides. Shubhan, how would you rate KKR's first come to batting? It was a must win for them. They delivered. Your thoughts on KKR's batting as a whole? Jason Roy, nice 56 of 29. Nitish Rana had a great knock, 48 of 21. Your
Hmm.
thoughts on KKR's batting?
I think Jason Roy's inclusion as all like we have been talking about it, and it has
Mm.
made a huge difference. Narayan Jagadishan opened along with Jason Roy, but he looked very
Mm.
scratchy. It was not the
Mm.
best knock by any mean, but Jason Roy's impact was such that it carried the entire KKR batting unit, their scorecard in the first 10 overs. And after that, Nitish Rana took over. Venkatesh Iyer also played a decent knock, but it
Mm.
was Nitish Rana's aggression which helped KKR go to and touch the 200 run mark. And of course, later David Visa and Rinku Singh also playing those cameos helped. But yeah, I mean KKR in their worst possible season doing a double over RCB, sweet.
Exactly. And I remember you talking about David Visa, and his cameo was important. 12 runs of three balls,
That
three
six,
sixes. So
that six towards the cow corner or the long on region, that was a top shot.
fantastic. And you were giving me a backstory of David Visa. Can you please give a short one within a minute?
It's hard to just to summarize such a long and eventful career, I would say. But yeah, as someone who played started playing for South Africa, and then was one of the first players to do the cold pack and then moved to England, play county.
Hmm.
After that, went back to Namibia and then started playing cricket there and then becoming the captain there and then taking Namibia cricket forward.
Hmm.
They have played a T20 World Cup. Their growth has been
Hmm.
amazing. David Villa holds a very special place in Namibia cricket. Will hold a special place in Namibia cricket
Hmm.
history, and of course his exploits in all the T20 leagues. He has been a gun player in this format for a while now.
Exactly. And a colorful career. Well, Bharat,
Yeah,
coming to you,
colorful, very good.
RCB is, as we were discussing over the last few weeks, the top three batters. If they fail, if they don't make the runs, the middle order doesn't perform. Your thoughts on RCB's run chase yesterday?
Yeah, they lost Duplessis, their impact player these days. Third over itself, I think that's a brave call from Nitesh Rana to get Suresh Sharma to bowl the third over. After that,
Hmm.
it always looked difficult. Glenn Maxwell also was out. And Kohli has had his problems with spin bowling. So KKR had plenty of them to go at Kohli. And Dinesh Karthik, obviously, he also has had his problems with his spin, missed his spin. Lobdor is there.
Hmm.
Yeah, once in a while we have heard about this exploit somewhere in 2013 itself that he scored a lot of runs in Raj Singh Dungarpur tournament, Vijay Merchant tournaments. It's been 10 years. You keep hearing that he's big hitter against spin. Once in 10 games, you see glimpses of him hitting and spin, and then he gets out for 20, 30, and then the 5, 10 games you have to wait. So it keeps happening like this with him. And then you have this Anuj Rawat. They you try to use him like
Hmm.
an impact sub sometimes, but it has not worked out. So a lot of things not going for them. They thought that Rajat Patidar would be fit, but he wasn't. So that was a big blow. From there on, it has been a struggle to find another player outside of these three who can come good. And the Shabazz as well has not been performing well, either with the ball or with the bat. Not much is. So all these things are not going well for them. And chase on that pitch, 200 still was chaseable to not work. RCB's nuts and bolts not working.
Okay. And Shubhan, how would you rate Nitish Rana's captaincy yesterday? He has been doing good with his spin combinations, attacked all throughout the middle overs with the spinners, and that has worked for KKR. Your thoughts on Nitish Rana's captaincy?
Yeah, 1 over for Weber, 1 over for Umesh, and then straight away he went to the spinners with the main strength of this KKR bowling unit, and it paid off. Although Sunil Narayan, I don't think he has ever gone 5 straight matches without a wicket in his IPL career. But this, I guess, is the first time for him in his IPL career. But apart from that, Suyash Sharma has come good. Varun Chakravarti has looked really good in this
Yes.
tournament. He is bowling quicker. He's got that extra bounce back. The zip is there, so it's good to see him back. And Nitish has used his players very well. And Harsha Bhogle also asked Nitish Rana about his captaincy, enjoying captaincy. How do you feel it's going? And he answered, "जब तक जीत रहे तब तक सही है." So yeah, it's all about that. As long as you win, it's all good.
Yes, and Nitish Rana quite has some attitude of the captain. The way he was instructing the fielders like that. I remember that Saurav Ganguly picture of like this. There's a famous picture of Saurav Ganguly with sleeves half rolled up. So he was good, I think. Well, Bharat, coming to you, KKR's fielding yesterday has been good. So many catches. Your thoughts that made the difference? You would say some important catches they had yesterday.
That made a difference. Obviously, high catches. Russell, I think, one took one. Kusing took one. Venkatesh Iyer, obviously, is a fan of. I heard he's a big fan of Rajnikant. So he jumped like when he jumped, it was Rajnikant in him. What he says whenever he's in trouble, whenever something goes bad for him, he thinks about Rajnikant. Maybe he's thinking about Rajnikant as well when he was jumping there. So yes, their fielding was good. One point I want to add about, I think it is Rajesh Roy. You guys were talking about him. He's one of those players who can go through 10 matches. It looks like Jason Roy is one of the most ordinary players going around when he's in that kind of bad form. He doesn't score a run. That's been happening with him. And then the 10, 15 matches, he goes boom, like 50, 60 every match, 100. That kind of a player. So hopefully KKR will hope that he's in that some 7, 8 scores of 50, 60, 80, even maybe 100. He's one of those players who can. He have seen even the 2009. He's one of those players. When he gets going, he can help you win a tournament itself. They did that in the 2019 World Cup. Suddenly from nowhere, scored those big runs against India, New Zealand, semi-final, absolutely hammered out Australia. So if he gets going, I know it's like a 5% chance of KKR doing it, but if he gets going, you don't know what KKR can do because he just someone who can go like boom for 5, 6 matches and suddenly KKR might win 4, 5.
Okay. Well, Shubham, coming to you, why do you think RCB actually lost the match, and which was the turning point? And do you see this KKR team turning around going forward in the tournament after yesterday's win?
I think 200, as Bharat said, was pretty much chaseable, but ultimately, what happened? They lost their key batters very early on. Duplessis, who has been on fire this season, they lost him very early, 17 runs, and Duplessis was again looking really good up front, but losing Duplessis for cheap was there, and then followed by Maxwell. Varun Chakravarti has had the number of Maxwell for years now, and he continues to do so. But apart from that, RCB, I think their main issue is similar to Delhi Capitals this season, the domestic core is not performing. Shahbaz is getting chances. He has not done fine at whatever role. But I would like to see RCB use him as a pace hitter rather than a spin hitter. That is where he has excelled for Bengal as well. Of course, he has played some tough knocks in red ball cricket, but in T20, it's his red ball hitting skills that has made himself what he is for Bengal. So these guys are getting chances, and I keep on saying Shabazz, Mahipal, Lomro, Suyash Prabhu Desai. I keep on saying not many players, not many domestic uncapped players are fortunate uh, to get so many games in IPL without delivering. So it's important for these guys to pick up those opportunities and make a name for themselves. And because suddenly you never know a bad season and you're suddenly unsold in IPL and people will be very quick to forget you.
Just
Exactly.
one more point I wanted to add. Just
Yeah.
one more point. They had a chance of getting Abhinav Manohar if they wanted to in the auction, but they didn't. Surprised me a bit because I covered a couple of KPL games. Those days it was KPL, then Maharaja Trophy. I guess Mike Essen was there watching Abhinav Manohar hit those big sixes in KPL. I saw him, but I never went for him. He may not be that great a player, but as you saw with the GT, get this 40 of 20, 50 of 20, 25, and the 50 of 2025 yesterday might have been good enough for them to win a match, but they never went for him. And he's with the
You know, Bharat,
KPL.
this Abhinav Manohar auction was very interesting because everyone in India knows him as Abhinav Manohar, the finisher. Abhinav Manohar is the name, but in auction, his name came as Abhinav Sadrangani.
Sarangi,
So
Sarangi.
Sadrangani, yeah.
Sarangi.
So Sarangi. So that is, I think, where the entire confusion came in, and he got GT got him for so cheap because I remember there was this entire confusion. Who is this guy? He doesn't even has a cricket profile or a cricket profile. Who is this guy suddenly? And then someone came up and said, oh, "This guy is Abhinav Manohar, not Abhinav Sadrangani." So small things, but it takes a toll because suddenly you are in the auction table, domestic players are coming in, there's always data about them. But Abhinav Manohar, okay, even if you're not following the auction, you'll be like, okay, this is my targeted player. Abhinav Sadrangani, you will be like, okay, some other guy, we are not bidding for it.
Just
Exactly. And
to add to it, they also have this Banda in their their
Manoj
setup.
Bhandari.
I've seen him in Maharaja Trophy, and that one he may not be at the level of Abhinav Manohar, agreed, but I've seen him. He can play the pull shot. May not be against 145, 150 kilometers per hour, but he can. So they can at least try him, but they never try him. So RCB doing RCB things, I guess.
and this name confusion, I face this a lot, Shubham. You know, received
Rohan or Samir.
I received a check in the name of Rohan, and I had to correct it because my official name is Shomojit. So that's a big problem that I also face. Well, coming to today's match, CSK versus Rajasthan in Jaipur. CSK at the top of the table, Rajasthan at point number 3. Bharat, quick thoughts on the match. What do you expect from the match? CSK Rajasthan. It will be a cracker.
The at the Rajasthan's home ground, right? So it's
Yeah.
a slow pitch. Yeah, it's a slow pitch. So at least two paced wickets. So it might help in a way CSK only. Uh, this season, usually I've covered a couple of matches there as well. Savai Mansingh, it's usually don't get you. Definitely, you don't get you. You only get heat, and a lot of dry heat during this time. So you might get a lot of two-base tracks there, so it might help CSK only because with all their spinners. Interesting to see how RR go about it. They definitely have benched now Parag. Last match at least I did his name. Uh, but they need someone like Butler again fire. Yashasvi Jaiswal is there, but if Butler fires again, then it will help them at the top. Let's see how it goes because Subban's been fine in the last game. So They need all these stars to come good. Rajasthan.
Yeah. And Shubham, as Bharat rightly mentioned, Josh Butler, if he fires, he has been fantastic in the first few matches, and the last three games he has scored only 40 runs. So, where do you see Butler in this match? Do you see him coming back in form? And how do you expect the match to go on?
I think Jaipur, as Bharat has said, it has produced a two-pace deck. Even
Hmm.
against the match between Lucknow and Rajasthan, it was a 150 track. Lucknow defended that 154 run total, I think Butler can play the KL Rahul-ish kind of knock. I would say here in Jaipur, where he really doesn't need to fire at 200 strike rate and
Hmm.
can manage with 140, 150 and can play look to play long. If he stays there for 10, 15 overs, then we know what damage he can done and he can do, and no ground is small for him. So it's all about spending time at the crease for Butler, but expecting a mid-scoring match, 150, 160. Looking at both the batting setup, Rajasthan, Chennai, 150, 160, and then the spinners will come into play. The Rajasthan Royals spin trio, the CSK spin trio, again an opportunity for Adam Zampa today to
Hmm.
come into the team. For Chennai, we know their spin trio, Mahesh Theekshana is there, Ravindra Jadeja is there, so a good matchup on the card. So let's see what happens. But I am expecting Rajasthan to do well against CSK today.
So, your prediction, Rajasthan?
Rajasthan, yes, I would go with Rajasthan.
Okay, Bharat, your predictions?
Uh, yeah, I might go for Rajasthan. After losing two games, I guess they might get back to winning ways. But
Hmm.
yeah, having said that, even though I'm going for Rajasthan, I'm looking forward to how the CSK spinners ball on that wicket. Someone like
Hmm.
especially Diksana is not exactly spinner, some kind
Yeah.
of hybrid kind of bowler he is, with all those seam up
100
delivery. Kind of,
109 kilometers per hour. In the last
yeah,
match,
that's
he
what I'm
fired in
saying.
a
Hybrid kind of
109
bowler.
clicks.
So considering hybrid kind of bowlers, someone who bowls seam up, who bowls this floaty kind of swinging deliveries, carom ball, reverse carom ball as well. I have seen. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
interesting to see how he goes on the two pace wicket.
Okay. So we have two Rajasthans. Well, I would go with CSK because of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. And in badminton, in Asia Championships, Lakshya Sen lost, but Kidambi Srikanth, Pranay, HS Pranay, PV Sindhu all had their wins. They win today. Srikanth, Pranay, Sindhu all will be playing. Lakshya Sen not getting back in form, Suvan, might be a problem going forward in the Sudirman Cup and Asian Games. Final thoughts, and we'll close it here.
Yeah, Lakshya Sen has been on a downward slide since that All England venom, and so much is expected of Lakshya. I hope he bounces back, he gets his form back, because even in Delhi during All India Open, he looked ordinary. And hopefully someone will tell him what to do, because he's such a bright prospect, and if he keeps on losing, then it will hamper his ranking as well. So hopefully he'll bounce back. But a huge shout out to Malvika Bansod, how she played against Akane Yamaguchi last day. She lost, but the fight she gave
Yeah.
was amazing. 25-23, I guess, before losing 21-19. So yeah, it was an epic match, and huge shout out to Malvika Bansod. And let's see what our other players do in the next round. PV Sindhu is there, a huge tournament for her
Hmm.
as well. Satvik Chirag is there. I'm looking forward to see how Teresa and Gayatri do
Hmm.
in this tournament after the success in the last one. So let's see. Interesting few days coming up.
Exactly. And thank you, Bharat, for joining. Thank you, Shubhain, for joining. For the viewers, do follow our social media handles and website for all the written articles and video stories that we bring up. And we'll be back again tomorrow. So thank you, Bharat. Thank you, Shubhain. Thank you.